I'm Andrew Henderson. This is the Nomad Capitalist Report. Many people will tell you if you are not happy, if you're not making enough money, if you just want to leave your current country, you should do so. You should go. My next guest has a very unique perspective on not only why you should, but why you must, or else you do so at your own peril. Blake Sawyer's website, escapetheuSAnow.com. He's a frequent guest on many radio shows. And Blake, welcome to the program. You have on your website put together a profile. Many of your audience members are Americans. Expatriation, a new idea to them. Walk us through your process of who perhaps is suitable before we get into some of the real juicy meat that you have in your theory.
It's good to be with you, Andrew. I think that there are a plethora of reasons why people would want to expatriate. As they say in the vernacular, there's as many reasons to expatriate as there are expatriates. I think that there's a stampede that's going on right now. I see it because I'm in the industry, if you will. And so I think there's a lot of discontent. Also, I think people realize the world has gotten small, so to speak. No, it hasn't shrunk, but we can get from point A to point B a lot quicker. And people are traveling, and they're seeing that there's other places in the world that are better to live than, say, the United States or Canada or places in Europe. Cheaper to live, more friendly, have many more freedoms, less taxes, less obtrusive, a lot of different reasons. So anybody that puts 2 plus 2 together and comes up with a reason why they would love to go live a better quality of life or see potentially some of the things that are coming down in the world and they want to have security, safety, that sort of thing, they're expatriating. So there's a lot of reasons. There are literally millions of people preparing right now in the United States to leave the United States. That's a statistic that was done by the Zogby poll not too long ago.
How does somebody, and I always surmise that the United States, a much bigger country, less interaction with other countries, fewer people travel, have a passport, etc. Some of that is a stereotype, but certainly it also rings true in many regards. How, if you're an American, or if you're someone in another country where you feel very comfortable, you've never thought about the idea, how do you know if you're really ready?
Well, one of the articles that I have on the website is a psychological thing that you go through to say, are you ready? And there are some negatives. I mean, let's face it. In the United States, there are people that will call you a traitor if you leave. Your parents will fight you to taking the grandkids so far away from them. I mean, there are some negatives that you do have to look at. There's the cost expense, and then is it the same language? There are a lot of variables, but that's one of the things about my website. I do believe it is complete. There is a psychological profile that you can run through, and I ask all the questions. Are you ready? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you thought this through, etc. The people that I know that have expatriated, which are in the numbers of thousands, because I've been doing this for a long time, I would say 95+% of them went through this process. There's some things that they wish they would have done, maybe beforehand or thought other things through, but 95% of them are happy beyond belief. A lot of them say it's the best thing they've ever done in their life.
Give us an example briefly of something someone wishes they would have done.
Well, I think that having I have a list, sort of a shopping list, having somebody that has gone before you and either read their blog or found another expat. If you're an American, you found an American expat that, let's say, moved to Italy or moved to Thailand or moved to South Africa or wherever that you're going, having somebody else that has already done it, becoming a friend with that person and having them help you go through the hoops and loops and what not to do, what to do, taking the time to be able to have that friend, or maybe even a person of the country, the expat country that you're going to, that's going to help you through some of the more difficult things. Expatriation is not easier. There are some countries, Andrew, that are easier than others, but expatriation is not easy. It is a process.
EscapeTheUSANow.com is the website. Blake Sawyer, my guest. You have a unique perspective. People who go to your website will find this out rather quickly. A unique perspective on where to go. We talk about capitalist elements, perhaps lower taxes, better economic opportunity. Explain your perspective for how someone determines where they're setting sail to.
Well, on my website, I give people choice. I give people information, and we would need a several-hour show to be able to explain it. But there are people that are scared to death that one bite of a mosquito they're going to drop dead of malaria, which of course malaria is one of the biggest causes of death in the world. I can explain to you where to avoid the earthquakes, the volcanoes, the natural disasters, or ruthless governments, or governments that are not really acceptable of some expats. Or the people themselves. I give people a wide variety of information so that they can put in their own personal beliefs where to go and how to get there. And certainly the financial thing is a biggie. If you're dirt poor, yes, you can still expatriate, but you're limited on the amount of countries that you can expatriate to. If you're filthy rich, if you went to Switzerland, you have to be a multimillionaire to get there to live the same lifestyle that you would if you were in the United States. I give all that information. So it's varied, and it's variable, and it's personal, and it's a personal choice.
Give us a profile. Someone is an average middle-class person. Perhaps they run a small business. Perhaps they're looking to have an internet business. They're looking to build something where they can be mobile. Just kind of give us a profile. What are the things that you see coming, and what might be some of the possible remedies? One example.
Yeah. I think it's a very good question. It's one of the biggest, more frequent questions that's asked to me. I really do believe, Andrew, that it's not necessarily what is coming, it's what has already taken place. If I took one country and compared it to the United States just on the economic issues, GDP versus debt ratio, the amount of mortgages, the country that I have my second home in, my expatriate home, only 3% of all the homes in the entire country are mortgaged. People live within their means. There's no credit card debt. It's just completely opposite. They have free health care. They have free education. College, all college universities are free. It's a completely different society in 100 different ways. And so comparing financial things, it's black and white. The United States is the greatest debtor nation on earth. It has the most laws. You try to be an entrepreneur in the United States, it's incredibly difficult. In California, they say it takes 2 years to even start up some, fast food restaurant. Well, in Texas, it might take 30 days. There are some comparisons there, but it's like that in comparing the United States or Canada or let's say Spain, Greece, a lot of Europe as well too. There are places that are welcoming, that are easy, that are free, that are just a completely different quality of life, very high quality of life. Most Americans don't understand it. They think they're the best nation on earth. They're number 25, 30, 40, 50 in a lot of these categories.
So give us the metric. Give us the categories metric. Explain kind of your philosophy towards what are these indices that you're basing this off of.
Okay. Well, I really do believe that a society that lives and lets live, where there's not a left-right paradigm, or let's rat on these people and turn them in, or if you're left, you hate the right, if you're right, you hate the left. There's a few places where you can be black and the whites don't hate you. And you could be white and the blacks don't hate you. Or you could be left and the right doesn't hate you, and vice versa. There's no racism or this tension. Freedom of laws, I think that's a big thing. The United States, I believe, is super overregulated. In fact, I believe that almost everybody's a criminal. Yes, Andrew, you're a criminal. I'm a criminal. When they want to come and get us, they're going to round us up. I think that's another thing. I think there's a lot of Americans that look at the United States now as a big militaristic country, and the world, if you read the writings and the understanding of the world, the United States is the biggest warmonger in the world. It's the greatest threat to world peace. There's a lot of people that want to be away from that. There are 100 categories that we could go through, but I think debt and a culture of debt, I think disease, obesity, why are not everybody in the world, 65% of their population, obese? The United States is a culture of drugs and disease and obesity and health problems, etc. There's places you could live where, because of the culture, you don't have diabetes, you don't have cancer, you don't have heart attacks, you're not overweight, and you're healthy. There's hundreds of categories. Really, truly, Andrew.
Blake Sawyer, my guest, escapetheuSAnow.com. Very unique perspective, targeted perhaps towards Americans, but others in the West. We'll get to the real juice. We come back. I'm Andrew Henderson. This is the Nomad Capitalist Report.